This is my review on The Batman versus Dracula. Now, this is was released straight to TV, it was a TV movie, then got released to DVD. And I don't really hear that many people talk about it or praise it, because it's actually a really good Batman movie and a Dracula movie also. So in Gotham City, in Arkham Asylum, Penguin having a conversation with this guy in Arkham Asylum playing bingo, that he discovered buried treasure once, and Penguin's interested, and he told the Joker first, and he didn't seem to get it. So next thing you know, he breaks out of Arkham Asylum. Then Penguin breaks out of Arkham Asylum Penguin and Joker. Penguin tries to take the Joker's life unless they take the split it 50-50, the treasure. And Joe says, "See your point," so he offers his hand and says, "Partners," and he shakes the Joker's hand and gets zapped. The old Joey Buzzer Joker trick. Ha ha ha. This Joker is actually the first guy who this guy that plays the Joker is a black guy. I'm not kidding. He's a black, definitely some. This is the only guy in live action or in cartoon and movie or show where he has been played by a black guy. Which is strange, because you wouldn't guess, because he doesn't sound like a black person. He just sounds like the Joker. That's how good job this guy does. So he voiced Joker on the show The Batman, and The Batman versus Dracula takes place in the same continuity that the show The Batman did that was aired in the early 2000s. Lasted for 3 seasons, I think. I believe, and so Joker is the funniest thing about this film. I mean, the Joker is so entertaining in this film. Well, Penguin's sinking in water and swimming himself out of the water. Karma instantly hits on the Joker, and Batman's following the Joker's trail, which leads to a really epic Batman scene with Batman fighting the Joker, going toe-to-toe, mano against the Joker. And the fight thing lasts for a while, and Batman makes a joke saying, "Hope you don't get too comfortable without your straitjacket." And then Joker makes a comeback, but it's not as witty, which was a little bit disappointing, because I think he could have come up with something. I better come back and say, "You're such a card." He said, "Bassy, you're such a card," and throws a sharp cards that are basically made out. They're not really cards. They're more like daggers. Made out of material, I guess. and they can cut you and make you bleed and stuff. So they fight, and Batman wins by just punching the Joker, and Joker, well, he kind of dies on screen in this film, in the opening first act of the film. You see, he's hanging on a ledge, and Batman offers to save him. Then he realizes he has a joy buzzer. The hand he was going to grab Joker was the hand he has a joy buzzer on. So he was planning on taking Batman down with him. And he gives this line, "Almost had ya." And then let's go of the legend, and he says, "Bye-bye, Batty." And this laughs on his way down to death. And he's brooding mourning over the death of Joker, and breaks through the tap for why he's so brooding more than usual. And the old friend Cowpart is still missing. So yeah. Cowpart stumbles upon this grave where he thinks the treasure is. Then he opens up the treasure. Is this a skull? Then he gets blood on the skull, and the skull comes to life. Yes, it's Dracula. So he hypnotizes Penguin into serving him because he wasn't going to do it willingly. And this is after Penguin confessed that he wet his pants. Because he just realized, because Dracula breaking news that undead people do that. So I remember I showed this movie to Lighthouse School many times in the classroom. I played it in the classroom many times, and they loved it. Good times. One of my good times. Those were good memories. So, so I just cleaned my nose and water's coming out of it because I rinsed it. And I rinsed it when a bunch of boogers came out, and when I rinsed it, so now the boogers are all, and now that's just water rinsing, water from the rinse that I used to clean all my sinuses. Okay, So it takes like several nights for Dracula to get back his full strength, but once he does, he goes out on the town a bit and goes to Wayne Manor for a party. What does he do? What has he been doing to get back his strength? Well, he's been kidnapping people, innocent civilians, from women, children, and men, and boys and girls, and men and women, as in children and adults, and been feeding off them and turning them into vampires every night. And it takes like several nights, and every time when he goes to wake, one night you see that there's like a giant cave surrounded his coffin, where the missing people of Gotham are. That's where they've been hiding. That's where they've been kept, and not only that, they've been brainwashed because of under Dracula's will, because they're now fully fledged vampires. And the Joker does return, and he opens Dracula's coffin, and Penguin delivers his blind breakfast in bed, fresh squeeze. And this is when, and we don't see what Dracula's doing to Joker, but we know that Joker's screaming, and not even laughing, he's just screaming like he's scared out of his mind. So, next thing you know, blood bank has been broken in, and this is when Batman is on to the whole Dracula scheme, his plot. And this is when he actually met Dracula at a party, and he hypnotized Bruce Wayne, and then some reason his willpower snapped him out of it. It's not really so yeah. And then he realized that Alucard spelled backwards for Dracula. So that's when he does the detecting work on Dracula. And he realized that he has to find he needs to find a cure for the whole vampires thing. He referencing to rescue vampires, and he explains, and Bruce Wayne explains that vampires is spread like a disease. If it is spread like a disease, that means it can be treated like one. And so he works night after night, and misses several dates with Vicky, who is his girlfriend. Then Vicky disappears by Alucard, known as Dracula. So he turns her into a vampire and kidnaps her and brings her to the cave where he lives, and after turning into a vampire and sucking her blood. And yeah. And no wait, he doesn't. No wait, that's a different. No wait, he attempts to do that. I remember the scene wrong, okay? Been a while since I've seen this film, okay? He attempts to do it by calling her into army of vampires, and Batman shoots up and saves her, and he has polished his batarangs with garlic, and his he basically all of his weapons he has polished with garlic, so they have this sense of garlic. And when Batman keeps on with two batarangs, he just uses the batarangs like punching bags while swinging at Dracula. And when one goes by Dracula gets a whiff of that sentence, and he says he's just like lying, like he's not afraid at all, and he just still the line, "You've been playing with garlic." And then he kicks the shit out of Batman, and Batman loses badly. But Batman is saved by the sunlight. And before that, he's asked to join his army of the undead by Dracula, and Batman turns down the offer. And so Dracula just tries to kill him, and runs out of time because the sun is up. And Dracula retreats along with his army of the undead. And Vicky is okay. And the reason why Dracula wants Vicky is because she believes that she is the reincarnation of the love of his life, of his wife, who was a vampire in the past life, like him. And he wants the love of his life back, and the way to do that is to separate the soul from the physical form of Vicky Vale. Therefore, he gets the love of his life back in his life. And so anyway, there's a blood bank. Someone broke into the blood bank. I never got around that. And that is Joker. That's broken into the blood bank and snacking on blood at the blood bank. And Batman is a little freaked out that he ran into Joker, not just alive, but turned into a vampire. And he hasn't lost his sense of humor. He's still funny. Thank God. He is as funny as he was before. He still feels like classic Joker. Suck it, Jared Leto. Double suck it, Heath Ledger. This movie accomplished more Joker than YouTube Bum could ever be. So, yeah. So, Joker gets in another fight with Batman, and Joker is winning, and then Batman cheats that fight, and by I think he sprays Joker's uses garlic spray, I think, and he kidnaps Joker, uses him as a lab rat to see and will let him go. He will feed him blood, pints of his own blood. He feeds him pints Batman feeds him pints of his own blood every day. Well, after injecting himself with the the serum that turns people into humans and makes them no longer vampire. And it fails several times. And he knows that Joker's white blood cells, something's like off with them, so he tries to find a different route on how to approach this each time, but he gets lucky one time, and Joker is human again, and he is more colorful. Yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that they didn't took away Joker's personality. They just made his hair and skin and clothes somehow less colorful and more grim looking. So yeah, that was nice. That was interesting. Besides giving him fangs, that was cool design, I thought. So when he actually, so we can tell it worked because that's how you can tell, and it worked. Joker's human again, and so he questions the Joker, where's Dracula? Where's Dracula? And and Joker has no memory of being a vampire. He just says, I'm looking at him, he says to Batman. And he says, hey, where's Penguin? Where's the cemetery? And then Batman says, Penguin cemetery? That's when Batman starts to figure out. That's when Batman starts to figure out that Dracula's hideout isn't a cemetery, and Penguin's working for Dracula. But he doesn't know why. But he's just glad that Penguin's alive. And Joker is not in this anymore after he's cured. But his last lines that he delivers is after he asks Batman, he asks, am I in a dream? And Batman says, no, just insane, which is why you're going back to Arkham. So he went back to Arkham, and Batman goes after, finds the location where the place, he finds the right grave, cemetery that Joker where Joker was. He finds somehow he investigates and finds the right cemetery in Gotham, and that's when he goes toe to toe with not just Dracula, but the army of vampires, and he has like 1 million of them. And during the process, while Batman's fighting all this army of vampires, and it's an epic battle. It's so sick. Like, this is something out of Buffy the Vampire Hunter vampire level of shit. Fighting style. The show, not the movie. Because the show had way better action than the movie did. Like, that is just how awesome it is. The fighting, it was him fighting vampires while also injecting the anti-serum to cure them, turn back into humans. He's beating the shit out of each one, and he's not just to get bit and turn into a vampire. It was his quick ninja-like reflexes. He defeats all of them, and stops Dracula from completing the ritual of bringing his love of his life back from Vicky Vale's body, and stops Vicky Vale's soul from fully exiting her physical form. And so Dracula cannot bring the love of his life back physically, completely, because Batman intervenes. And Then it's just mano a mano. Dracula fighting Batman. And Batman gets the idea that sees like this one more serum that can turn Dracula back to a human, and he injects it into him with his own hand. He injects it into it, and Dracula laughs. Dracula laughs and finds this amusing, saying, "No person can cure a pure supernatural. I mean, a pure creature, a pure supernatural." I guess that means he's pure vampire. This Dracula is. Didn't see that coming. I don't think Batman did either. So he's screwed. So Dracula's turns out right. So Batman is sending his coins to Alfred by putting the tracker on and his utility belt while he's going toe-to-toe with Dracula. But what Alfred can't figure out, why is Master Bruce like Dracula in the Batcave? Why is he